Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 2023's It's Love, Bro. And before we get into the cast, if you want to follow Kiss the Reviews on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, you can follow us at Kiss the Reviews. And as always, if you want to subscribe on Patreon, get some funny pre-show banter between me and Corey. Some crazy stuff, giveaways. We have all kinds of stuff on the Patreon channel. It's a couple of bucks, barrier of entry. It's a good time, had by all. Requests are free. We do like movie watch parties. There's all kinds of stuff that we're doing there. So if you want to join us on Patreon, just look up Kiss the Reviews on the Patreon app or at the website, and you'll find us.
Yeah, and my pitch for Patreon is this. It's healthy to spend $10 a month on Patreon, because what that will do for you is not only do you get involved in the giveaways, which are fucking dope if you haven't seen some of our other videos.
Yep.
Not only do you get to do the movie watch party with us once a month,
which is dope
and a lot of fun.
Yes.
Not only do you get the full show and all of the in-between unedited fun times that come before the review itself, but it's also going to probably stop you from hitting that drive-through once a month. And your heart will thank you. And your liver and kidneys will thank you. So no McDonald's.
Yes.
No Chipotle. Just one time a month. Leave that shit alone, and you get us a lot more and a lot more fun. So check it out. Quit being a fucking nerd and quit being a fat fuck just running through the drive-thru all the time. Help yourself out.
I think you're talking to me, and I don't appreciate it. But whatever. It is what it is.
You're fucking lame now. You're like, sushi's expensive. I'm like, Jesus Christ. They call me a fucking elitist.
I am a little bougie. But with that said, let's get into the cast of 2023's It's Love, Bro. This film stars Matt Ventre as Bob, Laura Gilchrist as Jeri, Travis Grant as Marty, Thaddeus Plezia as Curt, Sean Powers as Noel, and Gerry Ferretti as Chris.
Are we going to address the alcoholism that his friends never addressed? Like
Bob's alcoholism?
Yeah, dude.
So, yes, let's address that, because like the movie opens, like this is so great, because everybody, and this is the one thing I really did like about this movie, is any movie that addresses the I just got broken up with, I was really into them, they weren't really into me kind of thing. Everybody's been there. Everybody's been on the receiving end of that. And I don't know about you, but I tend to drink a little bit. And in those situations in the past, I dipped my toe into the alcoholism end of the pool. So it was very relatable.
Hell yes.
Yeah, I don't do that. I'll booze with the rest of, like, you know me. I'll get down. I'm a drunk without depression and getting broken up with. I don't need that.
Same.
So I never really like increased my drinking when I got dumped. And this is why. When I was like 14 or 15, there was an old baseball player named Mark Grace. He played for the Chicago Cubs. And he went on a radio show when we had radio back in the day. And they asked him how he got out of slumps. And he said he went out and fucked a bunch of fat girls. And that was their slump breaker. And I was like, you know what? Slump buster inactive. So what I did whenever I got dumped is I went out, and I did not care how far below my league they were. I went and played in the minors for a couple days. And guess what happened? I was back in the majors like nothing happened in less than a month.
Slump buster engaged.
Fucking A.
Well, which is what everybody in this movie tells Bob is like, just go out and it doesn't matter. Pretty, ugly, skinny, fat. Just get out there and try to bang somebody.
Get the poison out of your head.
Yes. Yes.
Men do not think well when our nuts are engorged. It's just a fact of nature.
But the movie opens here with Bob getting ready for his girl to come home. He's lighting the candles. He's got rose petals on the bed. And then he does the move that I'm not like a huge fan of. Like, you want to do the candles and the rose petals, and that's all great. He strips down to his boxers and then like lays on the bed. Like, this seems to me like a Corey move. This is like, are you ready for your gift?
Oh, the whole like being ready for it. Yeah, the roses and candles. No, unless I farted, I ain't lighting a motherfucking candle. It ain't our anniversary. Get the fuck out of here. And I frankly do not date women who are like, oh, rose petals on the bed and Bon Jovi playing. Like, get the fuck out of here. No.
Yes.
We play like Neo and just go to Fucktown. Like, that's what we do.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
I bang it out to fucking Rihanna, bitch better have my money. Like, that's how we throw down in my house.
That's fair. That's fair. But she gets home. She sees him on the bed in his boxers, and she immediately breaks up with him. And we see Jeri, and she's complaining to like her roommate about her boyfriend Noel, and he's always late, yada yada. But he gets there, he proposes to her, and she accepts the proposal and the ring, and she's super happy, even though 5 seconds ago she was just bitching about him and how much of a dick he is.
Yeah, he's a super big piece of shit throughout this movie. Like, is immediately checking out her roommate or her friend or whatever that was over at the house.
Yeah.
And I kept having this one thought watching this. And we've had the privilege of talking to the director and writer of this film, George Massimillo, a couple of times. And I'm pretty sure George is Noel. I'm pretty sure he's just a guy like, hey, you want to come in the shower and wash me the fuck off? Ooh, huh? I think that's who you are, low down. Like,
I don't know.
Keeping it on the down low, bro.
I disagree. I've never seen George in a tap out tee in some black skinny pants with like roses on them.
Public persona. Behind closed doors, dude, he's just wrecking dudes' shoulders and fucking Joe Roganing all the way out. Slamming raw meat in his fucking face like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's crazy.
Yep. Well,
I'm on to you, George. You don't fool me anymore.
I fancy George as more of a Bob character in this movie.
Probably.
But Bob moves in with his buddy Marty, and a few months later, Jeri goes to get her old job back. She meets Bob here. We also get to meet Lonnie, the boss, the owner of the place that they work, who's this like germaphobe moron, which, let's face, most bosses are. Like, this is a pretty good depiction of like what bosses are.
This is a great depiction of office just in general. Like, from what I remember working in an office, which was a long time ago, thank Christ. I'm not physically allowed in an office per federal judges, but whatever. Beside the point, this is very accurate. Like, dick pics are getting shown and people don't give a fuck, and you got old guys running around all jacked up on like testosterone, like fucking fuck her in the pussy, like just saying weird shit. The office place is a weird ecosystem, man.
Especially in 2024, it's a little bit different because there's a lot of work from home, so you're by yourself. But like, when you were in an office, And especially in like your 20s and maybe into like your your early 30s, it was just a live showcasing of Tinder. It was
No.
like it's literally it's dick pics, it's gross conversations. You know what I mean? Like everybody's in everybody's business. And the minute you start talking to somebody of the opposite sex in the office, they're immediately like, "You guys fucking?" Like,
Oh,
it immediately starts. And so the depiction of how the office is, especially a smaller office like this, is spot on. Like that's what it is.
oh, it's so weird. It's almost like they will it to happen because the second you do talk to somebody and are
Yeah.
just friendly, no sexual attraction whatsoever, but you're talking to somebody of the opposite sex or of your preferred sexual preference, it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Are you fucking? Are you fucking? And then the rumor mill starts because it's like a goddamn high school.
Yes.
And then eventually you get drunk and fuck.
You were correct.
We then have Jeri, Bob, and Curt going to have lunch together at Bob's roommate's restaurant, Marty. And late that night, Bob and Jeri start to text.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, ladies. Uncle Corey here. Don't do this shit. Because what Jeri says later in the movie is 100% true. Yes, if you talk to us, we think you want to fuck. Why the fuck else would you want to talk to us? We don't want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying?
It's really the texting after business hours.
That's it, dude. That's what I'm saying. Stop doing this shit. And then being like, what? You wanted a relationship? You like me? Yes. Yes. And I felt comfortable enough to say so because you were engaging me after work. And you're like, I just thought we were friends. Why?
Yep.
At what point did you think I was going to call you to come watch the fucking game with me? At what point, like, honestly, ask yourself that question. All ladies out there, ask yourself this question before you text that guy. Like, oh, I think we're friends. He's my friend, blah, blah, blah. No, he's not. The question you need to ask yourself is this. Is he ever going to call me on Sunday for the football party?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, dope. But if you honestly are answering that question, it's fucking no.
You were right.
And during this, two of my favorite characters in this are Bob's parents, because we get the call between Bob and his parents, and they live in Florida with his sister lives down there, and he's in New York, and they want him to move down to Florida. So we get a few of these conversations throughout the movie, and the whole parents not understanding how fucking FaceTime works, and a lot of that, and they're very New York, Long Island-y people, and they're fantastic.
They're two of my favorite characters in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're great. Like, I know there's a lot of funny moments in the movie, and there's a lot of guys and girls dropping comedy in this. The parents are it.
Oh yeah, no,
the parents are the best comic relief in the movie.
Yes, absolutely. And we also get Jeri and Noel getting into this like small argument over planning their engagement party. And Jeri says she's going to ask her friend Bob about getting a deal on the catering at Marty's restaurant. And immediately Noel gets into, are you fucking him? Is blah, blah, blah. And this is where we get all of the turmoil in the movie, because Noel kicks it into Rogan-esque, like,
oh yeah, like
gear.
Look,
Corey's life lessons.
Hi everyone, Uncle Corey here. Do you want to know if your partner is probably going to cheat on you? Have a friend of the opposite sex and have them just, like, when they go, oh, are you fucking? That's the person that's going to cheat on you, because that's naturally where their mind went, because that's the only reason they would be texting somebody like that.
Hell yes.
I'm not saying men and women can't be friends, but if your partner is like, you're texting this person? Are you guys banging each other? Who you about to fuck, homie?
Yeah.
Because I know what's going to happen.
It's you're telling on yourself. It's all about deflection.
Be a better liar. And fucking Noel. Like, this is my biggest problem with people like Noel, is you're Neanderthals. You're fucking morons.
Yes.
Like you said, you're telling on yourself. You have no other, like, caveman, you fucking, God, go find a tree to fuck.
Dude, that's all I kept thinking. I'm like, dude, all these cavemen, it's literally just like, what do you do? Like, do you even work? No, I work out. It's protein, workout, fuck. That's my day. That's every day. No days off in this game. Like, you're basically a gorilla.
Yes!
And hot tip to those guys, it's like guys that ride like motorcycles and like ride them through towns and shit. Nobody really thinks you're cool. We all are rolling our eyes at you.
Yes.
We're just doing it when you turn your back because you can kick the shit out of us.
Probably.
We all like the superheroes. Nobody's like, yeah, Thanos, get him. Nobody said that. Only you are not as intelligent as Thanos. You're a fucking idiot.
But Jeri and Bob then go out to lunch at Marty's just by themselves. Marty says that he knows Noel and that he's the man because, I don't know, he can choke out other beefcakes or whatever. So he'll definitely give them a deal on the catering for the engagement party. And later that night, Bob stalks Jeri on social media and then leaves when Marty says he's bringing another girl home, because that's all Marty's character is in this movie. It's like, I'm banging out as many chicks as I possibly can. And we've all had that friend. Either you're that friend or you have that friend in your friend group.
Most of us have been both.
Yeah, at certain times, I think most of us have been on both sides of that.
Yep.
But after Bob leaves, like, this is where shit gets a little bit thick, because Bob leaves and he just goes to like some random parking lot, sits there, and he's texting with Jeri. And this is where she's like, well, I'll come meet you in the parking lot. I'll come blah, 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 to your point from earlier. You can text me at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. If you're like, hey, the McDonald's presentation is in a couple of days, I'm working on it. Do you have X, Y, and Z for that? But if you're texting me at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you're like, where are you? You're in a parking lot. Can I come there? All we think is that you want to give us a hand jibber. That's all that, like.
At least.
That's at least.
At least.
Yes.
Somebody's touching a dick. That's all I'm saying.
Yes! Yes!
And this is where I've made mistakes before, but also it's not a mistake because I'm one of those people that put it out there. I'll play the innuendo game and we'll like little flirty shit, but I'm going to do that when I know like we're going to fuck.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Until then, I'm just kind of tossing it out there like softball. So when I get like, oh, can I come join you in the parking lot? To your point, cyber sex would start. Do they still call it that? I haven't done it in so long. I don't fucking jerk off like that anymore. Are you kidding me? But anyway, I would hit my AOL Messenger and be like, "Oh,
typing with your left hand."
That's right.
Doing other shit with your right.
It would take me 6 minutes to type that, and I'd already came twice. But my question to her would be like, "What are you gonna do to me when you come to the parking lot?" You know what I mean? Like, dude, let's just throw it out there. Like, let's start. Can I come meet you at the parking lot? Well, what's gonna happen when you get here? Oh, we're gonna talk about the Miller Genuine Draft Party. No, we're not. And I was gonna shit on Bob a lot because he is so depressed, and as we alluded to, slipping into alcoholism quickly over somebody who doesn't want him, which is just like, dude, grow up. But also, and I think George might appreciate this because I know he is heavily influenced by Kevin Smith. He is nowhere near as annoying as Dante in Clerks.
Hell yes.
Like legit, I was like, I'm gonna fuck and destroy Bob for just being this mopey little whiny bitch this whole time. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch Clerks because these movies are very similar to that.
Yep.
So I threw on Clerks and I'm like, oh my God, Dante, this is why I can't watch this movie more than once a year. Because you are so whiny and bitchy. So kudos to you, George. You reined it in a little bit with you made him drown his fucking sorrows in a bottle of vodka like a goddamn man. Instead of crying to strangers in a convenience store. So
yes, absolutely.
Good on you.
Bob bails on the meeting with Jeri and Noel at Marty's restaurant to go over like the catering menu and whatever. And after Bob's name comes up again, Marty tells Noel and Jeri that Bob has a girlfriend. She's a hot girl. She's super hot.
She's a hot lady. She's real hot.
The salesmanship just isn't there. And this is where Noel is like, oh, you're into MMA and jiu-jitsu and wrestling with naked men in gym floors. Why don't you, after you get off work tonight, why don't you come over to my gym and, we'll oil each other up and wrestle.
I hope, what's his name? Marty?
Yes.
I hope Marty is a better chef than he is liar and I don't know, lie detector.
Yes.
Because this guy's a fucking moron when it comes to detecting what Noel is about to set him up to do and then actually telling the lie. It's admirable. You're trying to save your boy's life here. You're like, no, he's got a girlfriend, dude. First off, always go with the gay route.
Very fair.
He's gay.
Yes, very fair.
He's gay. Done. That'll wrap, especially with guys like Noel. He'll probably go, ooh, and then back up and won't want to discuss it ever again because he's fighting with his own internal demons in that regard.
Yes.
That's the only reason people like Noel are like Noel.
Yep.
But then on the flip side, Marty, when he's like, oh, okay, she's hot, hot, hot. Okay, cool. Hey, how about you come wrestle with me at the gym? Fuck no. I'm a terrible liar, but no.
He immediately goes to hey, cool story, bro. You want to come to my gym? There's no comma in that sentence.
Yeah,
it's literally oh, she's super hot, huh? You want to come to my gym later when you get off? When that happens, the answer to that is I don't get off till super late. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. I run a restaurant. It's a little taxing here. You don't go, yeah, because you're the coolest. He's like the little dog in the Warner Brothers cartoon with Spike and the fucking little that's who Marty is in this.
Hey Spike, how about we chase cars, huh? Does that sound like fun?
He goes to the gym here and gets his ass kicked. And again, if you know people like Noel, they're not going to fight you one-on-one. They're going to bring all their dude bros in and everybody. I assume he's holding his shoulder. He gets back to his place and Noel comes with him and Bob is passed out on the couch, drunk, wakes up and sees Noel and Marty. So he obviously knows what's going on here because Bob is actually smart. And he was like, Jesus Christ, we're all going to die. Yeah. But the scene where they cut into the gym, which this took a turn. I didn't think it was going to go this route. So when it went this route, I was like, oh, interesting. I like the little turn here. But he's coming in, he's holding his shoulder like he put him in an arm bar or something and ripped his shoulder out. But I think in this scene when they're at the apartment, I would assume Noel gives him the threatening. You see the fist clench up. You get the Bob's perception. You get the POV kind of angle from Noel, and then Noel's just he does this. And again, I grew up in this area, so he does this very Italian, like, hey, you have a good day now. Hope nothing bad happens to you. And like just leaves. I was never a big fan of that. It's like, listen, either kick the shit out of me or get the fuck out. Like this whole thing where it's just like, hey, hope you're not walking down an alley sometime and maybe you trip by accident and then somebody hits you in the head with a brick. That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, see, it's dangerous out there.
It's dangerous out in these streets, see?
Make sure a piano doesn't fall on your head, guy. Get the fuck out of here.
Accidents happen all the time.
And I'll be perfectly honest with you, this was triggering as fuck when he's like, you stay safe. I'm like, how about you fucking stay safe, cocksucker?
Yeah.
What are you going to fucking do? Jujitsu my fucking rental van when I run you the fuck over?
In the next scene, this guy, I think this got cut out of the movie. In the next scene, Bob goes and buys a gun. Like, it's literally what happens next.
Dude, like, I'll fucking stab. I'm an alcoholic, bitch. I'm fucking constantly carrying around, like, grain alcohol. I will throw that on you and light you on fire. Fucking rear naked choke your way out of that, dickhead.
Yeah, so Bob takes this.
I did not like Noel. Good actor, because he did it to me again. It's like he's like the Ella in Waning Poetic. Like, you got 100%. Me again because I wanted to fucking murder this dude.
The minute you feel, we say it all the time, the minute you feel a certain way, and whether it's triggering or whether you're like, I love this guy, whatever it is, like the minute you feel a certain way about a character, they did their job. Done and done. But Bob takes this very Jersey Shore threat, like, to heart, because like he calls into sick, or he calls into work sick.
No, you had it right first. He called into WITSEC and like decided he's leaving town and his new name is Don Johnson. And like, it's absurd.
Yes. But so he doesn't go to work. He avoids Jeri, but answers a call from Lonnie, who's yelling at him like, you need to get into the office and you need to work with Jeri on this project or whatever. So he texts Jeri because they have to get some work done, but she's in the shower. Noel reads the text. And then this is where we get Noel showing up to their office, and Bob had already left for lunch. So Bob's not there. And I don't know if you've ever experienced something like this where somebody shows up to work. Like, I've never had somebody show up for me, but I've seen it happen to others like years and years ago, where somebody has shown up and it's like, yo, somebody needs to get Andre the Giant out of this fucking office. This is an office, guy. Everybody's got polo shirts and khakis on.
Right.
You're showing up with a t-shirt with a dragon on it, looking to kick some ass. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, take a breath, Ed Hardy.
Yeah, if you're that guy, fucking calm all the way the fuck down.
All the way. Once again, nobody's impressed. You've only embarrassed yourself.
Yes.
Your partner's embarrassed by proxy, but they all feel bad for her or him. You're the one that like looks like an asshole. Nobody's scared of you. No, you didn't like rock the boat. You didn't fuck anybody's. You're embarrassing.
You were correct.
After this whole thing, and Bob finds out about this, he basically goes into Lonnie's office. They discuss the incident. And Bob tells him, he's like, you know what? Fuck this noise. I'm moving to Florida to be closer to my family. So he like puts in his notice. And this is where we get into the end of the movie, where they go over to Brianna's house. Brianna is Jerry's cousin. She also works at the office. And they're having, goodbye drinks with him because, he's going to be moving to Florida and yada, yada. And Jeri here decides that, fuck this, I'm out. And she leaves Noel. She goes to Brianna's house here. And this is where she sees Bob. They have their little interaction. And then Bob just walks away drunk and have a walk and a talk with himself. And Jeri leaves to go throw her ring at Noel at his gym. And I got a question here. Noel owns said gym,
Mm-hmm.
right? It doesn't matter what time of day it is. It seems like he goes home, like busts a nut, sleeps for 2 hours, and then goes right back. Like, this is late. This is like 11 o'clock on a fucking random night. And she goes to the gym, and him and all his dude bros are in the gym, and they're like, "Yeah, when you get them in an arm bar and you get to do the thing." If you realize I know nothing about MMA besides arm bar, so you know they're talking about different jujitsu shit. I'm like, bro, it's 11 o'clock. Go to the bar like a fucking normal person. What are we doing here?
Dude, you didn't realize that at that fucking gym, it's whack-em-off Wednesday. It's fucking circle jerk. Last one to go eats the piece of bread, bro.
How would he do 4 guys? He's got 2 hands, so that's 2 dicks at a time, right?
Look, you have 2 guys on either side with their dicks tip to tip, so you're going full length.
It's like, listen, Dana White isn't showing up to recruit, okay? I don't know why you guys are practicing as much as you are at all hours of the day.
It's to fuck up other dudes that they could clearly beat up with no training whatsoever. Those are the only guys they're actually trying to fight.
Dude, if Noel punched fuck a move, fuck a choke out, or whatever the fuck. Like, if Noel just went boop and just dotted him in the fucking face, Bob would die.
Bob's like 2 like disparaging words against him away from jumping off the fucking Queensboro Bridge. What are you talking about? He's done.
Absolutely.
If you're like, hey, Bob, your hair looks dumb today, he's going to grab a fucking solo cup full of vodka and jump off the fucking railing in a second.
You were right.
Well, then, apparently Bob just is drunk as shit, as usual. And he walks to his office. Attaboy. And he walks to his office to, I don't know, sleep it off on the couch in the office. And you got the 2 old co-workers banging in one of the offices, which is great. That's just a great little thing that they peppered in there. But his ex shows up, Fran. Jeri shows up, and Noel shows up. And Bob tells Noel that Fran is his girlfriend, and so Bob and Fran leave. And then Bob and Jeri end up back at Brianna's place where they kiss, and
you forgot the mini showdown too, where Noel was gonna go fucking ham, but the old guy and his wife beater
was
flexing like a mug, dude, stared him straight down. Noel owns a fucking jiu-jitsu MMA gym, and he's staring down this guy, and he knew, and this is an important lesson for everybody, because this one has happened to me, where somebody's knocked on the door, and I've been mid-pump. Don't interrupt fucking. You do not want to tangle with that man.
Yep.
That is the most dangerous pit viper you have ever met in your life, bro.
Especially a dude in his like mid-50s.
Dude, he'll go fucking Dollar General on you and fucking jit on your leg as he's knocking you the fuck out. That guy doesn't play.
You can't fuck with a guy in his mid-50s mid-pump. That's not a thing.
No.
He will fuck. You talk about, Jersey Shore, running somebody over with your car. That's what's happening.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna die. And that's why Noel was like, nope, I ain't doing this. And he leapt.
Absolutely. But we cut to 3 months later. Bob is leaving his job to move to Florida, and then we see that Jeri is moving with him. Marty's got 2 chicks that are moving in because he can't afford the rent, and he likes to bang. So, he's got 2 chicks. Hey, if you could do it,
This is a nightmare scenario.
It is. Like, I don't think Marty realizes what he's in for. But
no, the next movie is going to be called It's Love Bro 2, The Funeral, where they all gather for Marty's suicide. He's like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yes, listen, I don't care. Guy, girl, whatever. the best part about not living with them is they get to leave. And then you get to do your like if that's all you want to do is just have, you know, mindless sex all the time, the best part is that they leave. And then you just get to do whatever the hell you want. When they live with you, then, you know, they'll take you to Yap Town. Like that's all that is. They'll yap you to death.
Yeah, I forget who said it, but you pay the whore to leave.
Yes.
You're not really paying for the sex. You're paying for the exit.
Yes. Absolutely.
Promptly.
Yep. Absolutely. No, I mean, dude, like we've said for a bunch of movies, especially with comedies like this. Hour and a half in and out. I think the runtime was like an hour 35, something like that, hour 34. In, out, get to the funny, get to the situation, and then get out. Like, did a really good job with that. This was very, very similar to Clerks, just like set in an office with, you know, the love interest. Like I did like the insertion of Noel into the mix, where it's like you have the two. It's not like Clerks where it's like the breakup and the thing. Like you insert Noel, he's engaged to this chick, and now you have the whole work relationship thing. I really liked because it was pretty spot on as far as what goes on in an office.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of another movie. I'm thinking maybe 40-Year-Old Virgin, just with the scenario of like all these surrounding characters trying to give this one guy advice. Who's kind of going through some shit and trying to figure it out. Like that kind of setup reminded me a lot of the 40-Year-Old Virgin in that regard.
I thought more like if Clerks and Office Space had a baby.
Yeah.
It would be this.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar. But no, I like this movie a lot. I thought this was a really good, especially for a romantic comedy, which, you know, so many of them are just so derivative. This one seemed a lot more down to earth, a lot more realistic. It wasn't just immediate love on everybody's part, but entanglements and this and that. None of that was really at play. It was just this kind of growing thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, very realistic. Like a lot of girls or women like Jeri don't realize they're with the asshole. They don't get to see him from the movie angle. We get to see him. So, you know, like her having to get to that breaking point, I liked that wasn't just like an immediate, like, he's a dick, but he makes money and he's nice to me. Or he changed, you know what I mean? Like, it was just, he's kind of this way, but we had a thing, whatever.
Yeah.
So I like that it took a while for her to get to that point as well. I think Bob being that constantly smitten guy is very accurate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are tons of guys out there that every girl they've ever dated, they've been madly in love with, and this is the one. And you know what I mean? Like when they are wrecked when it ends, and it always fucking ends because they think everyone is the one. And that's why it never works, because everyone is the one. I like Thaddeus and the dick pics.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Thaddeus, George gave me your text information, so get ready for some pics, homeboy. That's some interview prep.
I like it.
Blame George, not me. But no, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was well paced. I thought it was well acted. I thought it was well written. Yes, and it was good time. They could have taken themselves very seriously, and I know we joked about the alcohol and all that shit.
Yeah,
they could have had like some really uncomfortable like intervention moments and shit with Bob that would have totally taken away from the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So I really like everything George did, and I'm getting a grasp of his writing style now. So
yeah,
I like
and to be honest, if you're in your 20s, or you know, I guess all these people are like in their late 20s in the movie, late 20s, early 30s, and you do have a problem with alcohol, just an FYI, this is the most real part about the movie. Nobody addresses it ever. Not your friends, not your coworkers. They're just like, yep, hungover again.
Yep. They'll all talk about you, but they won't fucking bring it up to you.
They'll rip on you for stinking and being hungover, but they're never going to have an intervention. That should never. That's the most real part about this.
100%.
Believe me, I know. So with that said, do you have anything else for this one?
Nothing.
All right, cool. Well, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 2023's It's Love, Bro.
Yeah, dude.